Within my first hour of playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, I was beaten up by the town drunk. By the end of the almost 70 hours I spent with it, I was sizing up a trio of bandits with a smirk on my real-life face, knowing even together they were no match for my steel and the extensive training I'd received under some of the toughest knights in this beautifully recreated medieval land. This wasn't merely a change in stats and equipment. Without a single spell or magic sword, Kingdom Come gave me the abundantly satisfying feeling of transforming from a doe-eyed scrub to a stone-cold killer. Bucking the trend of heroic world-saving RPG quests, Kingdom Come's refreshingly small-scale tale of tribulation and betrayal shines brightest in the little ways it sells the fantasy of living in the late Middle Ages. Not only are there survival mechanics that track hunger and fatigue, but clothes accumulate wear and trail dust as you traipse through the wilderness, leaving nobles less than impressed with your scruffiness. Keeping relatively clean isn't a chore because bathhouses are easy to find and you can always dunk your head in the nearest trough of water in a pinch. The large chunk of wooded medieval Bohemia shows significant attention to detail and is filled with little historical touches that help it feel like a real place. Towns, farms, and logging camps are laid out with a strong internal logic and built on a scale that makes sense, as opposed to the standard RPG city in a game like Skyrim that's designed to feel large but really isn't. Plus, walking or riding through the world is blissfully load screen free unless you fast travel. The story is gritty, engrossing, and complex, though its cutscenes can get excessively long-winded, and its portrayal of medieval life falls back on some older stereotypes and misconceptions in a couple of places. The standout quest was a human moment, a Sunday Mass in which I had to recite a sermon inspired by contemporary Czech church reformer Jan Hus, because I'd gone on a drunken bender with the local parish priest the night before, and he was too hungover to do it himself. I laughed the whole way through, and it was a nice bit of well-written levity among the often brutal and unpleasant business of medieval life in wartime.
I say to you, in the words of Jan Hus, he who knows much, let him speak much. He who knows little, let him speak little.
The fantasy breaks down a bit too frequently under the weight of bugs, though. Some are of the goofy sort you'd expect from a new open-world game of this size, but others got in the way of gameplay in significant ways. Staircases will sometimes randomly decide, "You shall not pass!" and moving between areas of different elevation in general isn't particularly smooth. Worse, a handful of quests in the second and third acts had either broken triggers or missing quest markers, sometimes requiring me to load a save I made an hour or more earlier to avoid them. That's not unusual for a big RPG that just came out, but it's exacerbated by the fact that just about the only ways to save are drinking a rare, expensive type of alcohol or sleeping at an inn or brothel. To Kingdom Come's credit, the actors, scenery, and textures do look fantastic on the highest detail level, but unless you have an extremely beefy system, you probably won't be able to enjoy it that way. To maintain a stable frame rate in all situations, I had to turn down the graphics settings to the point where level of detail pop-in was distracting. My GTX 1070 powered PC can run The Witcher 3 with everything cranked up, so this was a little bit surprising. Luckily, the combat behind it all feels kinetic, precise, and polished. There is a significant learning curve as you figure out its complex directional attacks and deliberate stamina management, but I found it to be a lot of fun the more I got the hang of it. Warhorse's designers have struck the right balance between realism and practicality. Scrapping with swords, maces, axes, or polearms has a nice tempo and rewards technical skill, quick thinking, and most of all, patience. Over time, my character became a force to be reckoned with because I mastered the systems, not necessarily because my strength stat kept increasing. I never got any good at the fiddly archery system, but thankfully I was never forced to. There's a shining suit of mail underneath Kingdom Come Deliverance's authentically medieval grime. Strong characters and storytelling, one of my favorite first-person melee combat systems ever, and special attention given to building moment-to-moment immersion came together as a mighty alloy that ranks among the most unique, memorable RPGs I've played in years. While a lack of technical polish occasionally caused me a good deal of frustration having to replay areas due to a bug or poorly communicated quest objective, it's the kind of adventure I didn't hate replaying. For more on Kingdom Come Deliverance, check out the first 26 minutes of gameplay and a battle against 3 bandits at once. And for everything else, stick with IGN.